Hello, welcome to What the Flick. Matt, that's Alonso. We're going to talk to you about some of the great stuff that happened over the weekend, not the least of which, another movie took #1, second week in a row. We're going to have some news today. We'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff.
We will indeed.
Let's talk about what happened at the box office. Not a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, nothing. There's this, somebody decided somewhere that the weekend after Thanksgiving was just not going to be anything. Like it was just going to be sort of residual build from whatever the big Thanksgiving stuff was. So
now for those watching at home, what that means is you know, Alonso and I, and there's a lot of us in the business, we forget that there's all, like we had this shorthand where we talk about the way the business works, and a lot of folks like, you know, what do you mean there aren't movies opening? But this one, there's not any major.
No wide releases, no new wide releases opened this past Friday.
Right, and there's like one this week, which is crazy town.
Yeah.
Right? There used to be a time that you'd get 2 or 3 a week. And it's, you know, when they talk about Hollywood productions moving back or cutting back, that's what we're seeing, is you're seeing less and less movies open in wide release. And so where that plays out is around Thanksgiving, you get a big bunch of movies all open at once, and then you get 1 or 2 the week after.
And fewer, pricier releases only ups the pressure for each of those movies to do well, and if one of them doesn't, then it's like this giant, it's a much bigger bite out of the whole pie.
Right, and so we've seen a lot of talk about how the movie business is changing. You're seeing more and more stuff go to home video and competition with streaming platforms and, you know, kind of basic cable TV that's really good. We're seeing that play out now. So that's when you wonder why there's nothing, why isn't there anything new? Now again, most people, look, the average American sees 5 movies in the theaters a year, which is like
way down from what it used to be.
Alonso sees that in a day. I see that in a week. But so a lot of people may not notice that there's not a new movie in theaters every weekend, but for those of us that cover the business, it's kind of like if you were watching baseball, like, oh yeah, you know what, nobody's playing any games this week. That's it. But, the NFL says, yeah, we're taking it, like every team's got a bye this week. Like,
but on the other hand, if you were busy with family stuff last week and didn't get around to seeing Coco, well, hey, now is your chance to do it.
Yeah, so for those people that actually like to spend time with their families, last week, some of you went out to see Coco. It did 26 million at the box office. I had seen a story that it has done shockingly well in China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's doing really, really well in China, but a relatively lackluster box office last weekend. Justice League, only about 16.5 million. Wonder, it's still performing relatively well, 12.5 million. If you haven't seen Wonder yet, that one is definitely worth checking out. We all really liked that one.
Yeah, it's kind of a sleeper. It didn't come in with a lot of advance buzz, and the trailer made it look ooky and saccharine, and it's a much cooler movie than you would think, and it's smarter, and it's sentimental and it's a tearjerker, but in a very human way.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. My kid is now reading that book. And he wants
and that's apparently a lot of the reason why the movie's done so well is that the book is so widely read by younger people, and so they've been going to see the movie and going with their parents. So a couple of big indie openers this weekend that made a big impact. The Disaster Artist, which is James Franco's movie about the making of the infamous The Room.
Now, I'm way behind on this one. I know you guys covered this last week.
Yes.
I haven't watched that one yet because I just this weekend for the first time watched The Room.
But where have you guys been? And Mankiewicz had never seen The Room either. How do you miss this stuff?
Because when everybody says it's a terrible movie, go see it, I stop listening to it's a terrible movie.
Oh, but see, here's the thing. There's it's a terrible movie, don't waste your time. And it's a terrible movie, go see it. And when you hear it's a terrible movie, go see it, that gets me out of the house faster than anything. I drove to Lancaster to see After Last Season, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, so the wife and I watched it over the weekend, and lives up to the hype.
Doesn't it?
Boy, wow, yeah.
So anyway, well, The Disaster Artist it's a terrific movie, and Franco does a really great Tommy Wiseau. I think you'll be impressed now that you've seen the movie. But that opened on 19 screens, but it cleared over 1 million with like a 64,000 or so per screen average, which is very high.
And that's expanding out to relatively wide release this weekend.
Yes.
So if you're a fan of The Room and don't live in LA or New York, now's your chance to relive the magic.
It will get to you, yeah. And then The Shape of Water, which we reviewed last week also, which is great, the new Guillermo del Toro, just opened on a couple screens in New York only. It hasn't even opened in LA yet. But its per screen average was 83,400, so that's that's very good.
Pretty good. So yeah, this is where you start seeing these high profile movies open up in limited release because they're getting their Oscar qualifying run.
Starting to warm up for their award season expansion.
I have a mountain of screeners at home and pretty excited.
Yes.
Because now I don't have to go out.
I know, that's the thing. Like there are a lot of screenings like RSVP, just like, oh, you're going to send me a screener? Then I'm not leaving to go see them.
I know, it's so tough to do those. Yeah,
these are the perks we get instead of actual money. So, okay.
Titanic hit theaters again this weekend?
Yeah, not with they didn't make a big a deal about it as they did because the 15th anniversary was the first time they put it out in 3D, as I recall.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this was for the 20th, and it didn't do giant, but I mean, it's a 20-year-old movie that if you really love it, you probably have it on Blu-ray. So,
all right.
Wonder Wheel is tanking.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. Woody Allen, I think that there was a time, obviously, when he was considered, sort of a box office magnet for a certain demo of certain age, certain education level, certain level of where geographic audience. But that I think because he makes so many damn movies and so many of them are disappointing that you don't run out to see the new Woody Allen movie anymore unless there's a lot of reviews telling you, oh no, this is the good one that we'll get in this decade.
Well, that's the thing with Woody Allen that I'm starting to feel like. Especially in the environment where we're at now, where everybody's so much more aware around the shenanigans that people in power get up to and sexual impropriety. And it's hard to forget these days, like, oh, right, Woody Allen was kind of the vanguard of some of that, arguably.
He is the poster boy now of, can you separate the art from the artist?
Right, and what doesn't help is he's watering it down because there's a new Woody Allen movie every year. It's like the opposite of Terrence Malick. Right? I'm going to make a movie and then I'll wait 3 decades and maybe you guys.
Well, and then Terrence Malick stopped being Terrence Malick too, and that does not.
Yeah, I don't think that helps.
Been a great idea for him necessarily.
Right. So, if you had to make a recommendation for one movie to see in theaters that's currently out, what would you recommend?
Oh well, I mean, if you can see The Shape of Water, it's absolutely one of my favorite films of the year.
And that'll expand out.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, as we start getting, by the time the Golden Globes nominations come out, it will be definitely near you. But as far as what's in wide release right now, I mean, Coco is terrific. Wonder, Thor Ragnarok, you've probably seen it by now, but I'd say, it's not going to play nearly as well on your home system, no matter how big your screen is. So.
That was another screener I was happy to get, even though I'd already seen it.
Right.
I'm going to watch this one again. So rounding up.
And Lady Bird is in the top 10, which I'm very excited about.
Yes, Lady Bird, a terrific movie. I believe currently now the best reviewed movie of all time.
Yes.
More positive reviews without any negative reviews.
Exactly. It just beat out Toy Story 3?
Toy Story 2.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it is now, that's a big thing.
It's because Armand hasn't reviewed it yet. It'll all come crashing down. Yeah, I can say that now. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, so we'll go through the top 10 really quick because we didn't catch all of them. Coco at number 1, Justice League at number 2, Thor at number...
Wonder.
Oh, I'm sorry, Wonder at 3. Thor at 4. Oh, Thor 4. Daddy's Home at 5. Murder on the Orient Express at 6. 3 Billboards Outside... Oh, Lady Bird at 7. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri at number 8. The Star, the movie I walked out on twice, at number 9. What's wrong with you all? And A Bad Mom's Christmas rounding out at 10. So that's the top 10 this week. Go see a movie. Tell us what you think. We'll be back.